We have some weather to talk about in the Western Pacific. I'm meteorologist Robert Spetta. Today, I'm actually getting back into this after a few days off. I was at the National Tropical Weather Conference in Texas, talking about, of course, hurricanes, but as well as typhoons around the world and just tropical weather overall, better forecasting practices, as well as communication. And look for more content coming up about that. But today, let's discuss what is happening here in the Westpac, because you know what, we got the Easterlies continuing to dominate south of Guam here. Yeah, Palau looking at some scattered showers, but it's really all about that Westpac high really continuing to set in. We have the rainy season front trying to set up just north of that, but just in general, this right here is what is in control of the general weather pattern. We can see that here on our outlook, because we have like kind of a weak cold surge still trying to set up here just around Okinawa towards Taiwan, but that Westpac high is really just in general control, dominating the weather pattern. So those cold surges can't push towards the south, but at the same time, easterlies or any easterly waves south of that high really can't churn towards the north. So it's leading towards this just kind of general easterly pattern for the Philippines, extending back towards Vietnam, while you have the westerlies kind of kicking on by with a few areas of low pressure across western areas of Japan and the eastern China. So, you know, I was off for the last few days, but probably the best time of the year to be off from giving these updates, because with that in place, there really is just such a remote chance of tropical systems. You can see really kind of the broader view with the waves of what I'm talking about here, just kind of the general easterly flows set up overall. And if we go over towards the how about the long-range weather models here with the GFS and the ECMWF? We're going to pull up the SpaghettiOs. You know I like using these. Gives you a good idea of the long-range outlook. See if the models have even anything that's trying to pick up on. See here, this is ECMWF. Don't really have much in the SpaghettiO world there off of the coast of the Philippines and the Philippine Sea, and the GFS as well, kind of stay on the lower side. As a lot of you know, oh, there's Tomoy, our weather kitty, stopping by. But as long as you know, well, as a lot of you know, you know, even though it is April, typhoon season already is kind of turned on. It's not like in the Atlantic where, you know, we have to wait till June, July. This time of year, you know, we're looking at the anniversary, the 10-year, anniversary of Super Typhoon Maisak, an absolute beast of a storm in the Philippine Sea. Got down the pressure of 885 hectopascals. I just put out a different video on that, by the way. So the point is, when you see stuff still quiet out here, it's not a, yeah, duh. Of course, we know that it's going to be quiet. It's April. It's a, you know, the pattern is in place right now to not be conducive for tropical systems. But, you know, even though it is April, there is still that potential, because this is a Westpac. Sea surface temperatures are there. Shear is going to start to be reduced here soon. So we're always going to keep a very, very close eye on it. Speaking of a close eye on, though, we're going to zoom in just a little bit and kind of get a closer look at what's happening here in the southern Philippines with the easterlies still set up. You kind of have some troughings kicking on by here. As I mentioned, that's not going to turn north. So places like eastern area Samar, eastern Leyte, eastern Mindanao, all looking at these kind of afternoon showers. But we do have a couple lows kind of kicking back towards the north. It's not until about end of the week, Friday and a Saturday, I actually have a little bit of a cold surge that could kick in and increase showers for northern Luzon. But just in general, that subtropical ridge is just going to be the dominating factor in play here. So let's do a look at the flyover. Kicking across here, across Mindanao, Cagayan de Oro, 31 degrees. Tacloban at 29 degrees. Shout out to our friends out there in Cebu at 31. You got those scattered showers. Really is the case for a good area of Visayas into Mindanao, just because of the easterlies continue to dominate. Not typhoon by any means, but, you know, and not a washout by any means. Most of it's going to be dry, but we have the rain icon because those afternoon isolated showers could be kicking on in. And then we move over towards Manila. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, actually mostly dry, but by Thursday, and then I said by the end of the week, we could have a cold surge that could penetrate a little bit further south. And that's why I do have the rainfall in the forecast there for Friday and even over towards Saturday too. So plenty to talk about, even if it is not full-on typhoon season. Right, Tomoy? Yeah. So if you have any questions or comments or anything like that, and you want to help out the channel, maybe check out our Patreon. Link is down below. Shout out to all our friends here, our super typhoons, as well as our typhoons that donate to Western Pacific Weather. I can't stress enough how useful it is, and we're continuing to be able to make these updates and hopefully help some people out here ahead of a major storm system. Anyways, I just got off of a long flight. That's maybe why I sound a little bit tired, but I am here at the desk, and I want to make sure to put some content out because it has been a few days. So yeah, that's why I might sound a little tired there today. Hope everybody stays safe, though, and as always, thanks for watching. Bye. Do you hate doing your taxes? Do you struggle figuring out what the law is and money management overseas?
I wish there was an easier way.
Well, FrontrunnerFinancial.com is your choice if this falls into your category. They're an international-based group of American accountants. They're based in Manila, and they're qualified to give you the best information where you are for those international finances. I wish I had these guys when I lived in Tokyo. Each year, it was a struggle. Where I needed to put money, what I needed to do. FrontrunnerFinancial.com. Be sure to check them out and let them know we sent them your way.